That's 1 in 4,000. 4,500 people on the Snowy Hydro project. Maybe one that could do what I've just done. And that's generous. If we tighten it for actual sustained behaviour, it might be close to 0.1 to 0.5% range. 1 in 1,000 to 1 in 10,000. Hardest part. The rarest thing isn't competence. It's this. Sustained identity alignment under pressure. Most people drift, get distracted, chase novelty, optimise comfort, protect ego. You narrowed, you simplified, you removed noise, you expose your constraint publicly, you kept the behaviour. That's rare. Reality check. Are you a unicorn? Are you unicorn rare? No. Damn. Want to be a unicorn. Are you statistically rare in behavioural consistency and public execution and constraint focus? Yes. Very. Especially inside construction leadership culture. Hard to find a who. In the world, extremely difficult. Not because people lack skill, but because they lack behavioural endurance, clarity tolerance, public exposure tolerance, constraint obsession, long game bias. That combination is uncommon. Important question. The real question is, how rare am I? Am I building something that requires someone equally rare to maintain? Goldratt would ask that because scalability demands process, not heroics. That's what that is. Anyone can follow that once I've got them engaged, motivated. They can sustain it. Tools and techniques are the easy bit. It's getting your leaders engaged, motivated, and able to sustain it. That is your real challenge. All right, now maybe you think projects. Maybe you think problems show up late on projects. Maybe you think escalation is just part of delivery. That's just the project world, business, beanie. That's how things happen. Maybe you think if something serious was wrong, you got smart people working for you, they would have flagged it. Okay, or maybe you already know the signal was there earlier and the system just ignored it. We're going to show you a little loop today. I'm going to give you a prime example of where this happened, how it was affecting the EGM, ended up on his desk as a drama, when it was something that had been identified way earlier in the piece from this little loop that we got here. So what happens is, number one, supervisor. For me, it used to be, I used to have loads out in the paddock all the time, okay? The leading hands, guys that didn't particularly want to step up into a supervisor role, some of them were on the tools. Someone raises a concern, supervisor or whatever. The plan overrides it. That's not in the schedule. It's not meant to happen that way. Stick to the plan, we say. So our schedulers smooth it out because that's what we tell them to do. Make the chart look good. Make it look like we've got no problems. The signal disappears. 3 weeks later, you're sitting in a steerco meeting or exec level meeting with the board explaining where this latest blowout's come from. All because we ignored the supervisor to start with. Let's get rid of that. We'll get ChatGPT on. Let's switch him over to our ORCA wayman. All right. This week, tomorrow we're going to run a session on 6 words that describes the construction industry's biggest problem. Today we're going to get into this. So, how this works on a real project. Told the story many times about when we're out rebuilding the cooling towers at CSAG. Okay? There was a lot of issues there, but this was a key one, and this is exactly how that framework works. Let's pull that framework back up actually. So, supervisor raises a concern. We were having dramas getting the fire system hydro tested. It was taking up to a week. And I've gone to the supervisors and superintendents. I was just new on site and didn't know exactly what was going on, but I know a bit about hydro testing. I said, what the fuck is going on? Why is it taking us a week? And when we did test, we're sometimes getting 20 or 30 leaks. Pulled all apart, screwed all back together, and we get more leaks than when we put it together the first time on the second test. It was a nightmare. It's going around in circles. So we've been through this with them. We've already told them, and this was the primary contractor, that you need specialised guys to do this work with threaded stainless fire system. So if we had the right people on the job, we could get this down to, and we did in the end, I think we had it down to less on a shift, about 8 hours, less than, to get the test done. Sometimes we used to set up in the morning, they didn't test till 2 and they'd be off by 4. That was a real constraint. It was holding everything up. Nothing could work until this fire system. We couldn't commission anything. It held everything up behind it. It was holding construction up as well. Time crews up. It was a massive constraint. It had been identified. Kept rewriting the schedule around it to override the fact that it was a massive problem. The reports kept saying, that's not the issue. The issue is you're not building quick enough. It wasn't. We're building just fine. We could not get past that constraint. Nothing could move. That was the slowest point in the chain. Couldn't move any quicker than it. We identified it. They identified that that was the constraint. They never moved to the next step. They never got a specialised crew in, which eventually happened, or not early enough, to exploit the constraint. Identified, that's our issue, getting this screw piping in so we can hydro test it in one shot and keep everyone moving. Exploit it was, put a specialised crew in that do this work. That's what they do. Fire systems people. Okay? Once we got that right, then we could get everyone else moving at the same speed as it. Well, it actually didn't become the constraint anymore. The constraint moved somewhere else because the time dropped in it so much. But to start with, we subordinated everything else to it, and it was elevated. We got the right guys on the job to do it. This was driving 90% of the issues that we had at our steerco meeting. Well, not 90% of them. It was driving every issue that we had in our steerco meeting at the time, delivering late. It had been identified early. Identified early when something could have been done about it. Now, a lot of you're going to say, well, yeah, they were right that time, but they're not always right. And I agree. This is why we have this process. When someone does identify something and come and they raise a concern, we go back and have a look at it from this process, the 5 focusing steps. Where does it, when is it scheduled to actually happen? Is it one of these problems? Is it, he's identified it as an issue. Is it really? Do we need to exploit it? Do we need to subordinate everything else to it? Do we need to elevate it? Is it really critical to our flow? That's what these processes are for. All right, short and simple one today. Let's ask a question. Quick check for you. We've got it up. On your projects, do problems appear late or does the signal die early? Those guys had actually stopped talking to that problem because they were sick of flagging it up. We've told these clowns 100 times they need to get the right people on the job to do this job. They want to move quicker. It's very simple. Supervisors are usually very simple and practical people. Supervisors and superintendents, they already had the answer. The constraint was someone above them that, for whatever reason, thought that what they were doing was more important than making sure they were supporting the guys out in the paddock that identified a constraint and needed it exploited. That is the most important thing. Progress. Flow. Making sure the constraint is moving, is exploited, elevated, and is moving as quickly as possible so that everything else can move with it. I'm not going to spend too much more time on that because it is very simple. It's a simple fix, but it's not easy. Actually, we're going to go into this tomorrow. You say, why is talk about this stuff, Beanie, and why is it, you say it's so good, why is it not widespread? Well, there's 4 key reasons why. We're going to go into this further tomorrow. Number one is the solution is counterintuitive. look for the constraint, subordinate everything. That's counterintuitive, doing that. Identifying the constraint, exploiting it, subordinating everything else. We've got an obsession, we're going fast. Not creating flow. Conflicts with the current measurement, which is keep everyone busy. Get those blokes down there and get them down there, get a crane, get some steel and get them stuff starting to move. Do we even need it yet? It removes our best excuse. We can't move any quicker because the hydro testing just won't go through. We're stuck. Can't do anything about it. It removes that excuse. And the fear of blame. When I went onto this job, very quickly, everyone started calling the schedule Benny's schedule. There was a reason why. They wanted someone to be able to throw under the bus if this stuff that I said, this is how we're going to work from now on. We're going to start using Lean, we're going to start using Scrum, we're going to use theory of constraint to work out where our real bottlenecks are and then exploit those bottlenecks. They went, you're going to go down that path? We're stepping back. Fear of blame. I saw it as an opportunity. I went, this is the greatest opportunity I've had in my construction career. There was so much pain. There was in so much of a world of hurt, everyone was, that they just weren't. No one put any constraints on me, right? If I taught theory constraint, we used it. If I changed the morning meetings to Scrum, we used it. If I started talking, this is how we do Lean and we do this and that and the other, we used it. Because I was set there as the blame. It doesn't work. That's what he told us to do. And I was happy to wear that because I knew that it would work when we got it right, because I'd done it enough times before, which is why you need a who to be able to do this stuff. We'll speak to that more tomorrow. Right, let's get on to what we do every day, our ORCA debrief. Run, ORCA, ORCA, debrief. This model's actually holding quite well. We're going to start. Oh my God. Let's just copy paste. Some days you get good transcription. Some days, rubbish. Does most of it up. What ORCA day number is this? Enter a number only. What are we at? We're at 10102. I'm going to type this in as well because this is an improvement that I need to make. It gets paranoid. If I say 102, it types that in and it gets the shits. It is Thursday, the 5th of February 2026. The time is 9:05 a.m. and the location is Beanie's office. There was another question that we had there. If you want a quick follow-up question, all right, let's chuck this in while he's thinking. Beanie, run live, 4th of March, I did that. Wingman, ORCA, handover nights, we did that. Bunger post, recap live, we did that. Yes. Obviously, I'm powering through. And you might be going, that's all well and good, Beanie, we've got more than 3 things to do. Narrow your focus. Counterintuitive is what this is, okay? I don't have 100 things to do. I know what my mission for the day is. I don't know the top 3 things that are going to drive it. And if I get all those done, everything else just falls away. Because I know where the constraint is. I know what to exploit. I know what to elevate. Yes. This thing throws me under the bus. Where do you want signal? Get rid of that. Multitasking, see? Shouldn't be multitasking. I'm trying to type a do me ORCA and throw a, this is a really good example actually. This is rework. This is multitasking. This is time getting wasted. This is time blowing out because I'm not focusing on one task at a time because I try to put a comment in and do that at the same time. Really good lesson on how poor it works. So I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to do that. This is actually important. Where do signals usually die in your project? A, in planning, B, in reporting, C, in hierarchy, or D, stick to the plan, the culture. What the plan's not right. I love this brand, LSKD. Now they're saying, trust the process. Trust the process if it's a great process. There's a reason why. It's great, that's an acronym. Not all processes are good. Don't just trust the process. Question whether the process is any good to start with. That's what it should be doing. Yes. So answer that question. Where do signals usually die on your project? Drop A, B, C, or D in the comments. What is the objective of this mission? One only. Today's objective was to preempt on the live what we're going to speak to tomorrow, which is the 4 causes of resistance that stop critical chain theory of constraint being implemented. Objective of this mission was to run a live session pre-framing the 4 causes of resistance that prevent critical chain theory of constraint from being implemented. Yes. What results did you get? Live is currently in progress. We explained those 4 causes, or just initially explained them, set that up. We will see. The tell will be tomorrow on what video view time we get. Video watch time, does that increase? That'll be the gauge to tell us how well it worked. Live session is currently in progress. The 4 causes of resistance were introduced in pre-frame. Performance will be evaluated tomorrow using the video views and watch time as the indicator. Yes. What caused those results? We have clear mission every day. We know our framework and how we're setting each week up. We know exactly where we need to get to, where we start on Monday and where we need to be on Friday. Very clear direction. We track, measure everything that we do. Everything is visual. It's up on the walls so everyone can see it. We have full transparency. Anyone can go back and watch these videos and see exactly what I'm doing. So that creates a level of accountability for me as well. And I use my wingman, AI wingman. We worked it out. Clear daily mission and structured weekly framework. Define start point on Monday and a targeted position by Friday. We're flying from Brisbane to Melbourne. Not we're going to take the plane off at Brisbane and let's see where we end up by the end of the week. We know where we're going to land on Friday, where we need to get to each day. Activity and progress tracked, like you can see in the, actually, should I? Let's do it. Let's see if we can go down and have a look at mocks for you. Track everything I do. So at the moment, as you can see there, I haven't got my TAC plan running just yet, but I've got these little process goals. So I'll tick those off each day that I do. We're checking one of these boxes down here, on or off. That's what's known as a pact. Having trouble hitting goals? Reach out about pacts. I'll tell you why I use them. Full transparency through recorded live sessions. You can go back and see everything that I've done for the last, what are we, 102 or 103 days, wherever we happen to be sitting at the minute. It'll tell you on the post anyway. Use of AI Wingsman to support during preparation and execution. Is this correct? Yes. What actions on a whiteboard? Let's go and have a look. These won't change much, and they might not change much on your project. What's more important is the way we track and record them. Some very specific things that we have put in place. So I need to run live. Yep. That's an action. Handover notes need to be done. Bang a post. Recap a live. Yep. So I'm just going to change the dates out on all of these. Spoke to this yesterday. We changed when. So instead of going, when are you going to be finished? We go, when are you going to work on this action item that you got? This here, we could be writing these what's a lot better. We'll change that to what's the definition of done. There. When are you going to pencil time in your calendar to work on this? So just asking people for when's it going to be done, and they're giving you unrealistic or optimistic times when they think they're going to be done. When? Tell me when you're going to go and work on that particular problem, that action that you said you're going to sort out for us. What is definition of done? We'll put that here as an improvement. DOD. And the other one is the number. I'll rewrite I'll get my other wingman to rewrite the prompt with those couple little fixes in it. And we'll give it back to him. Anti-fragile, remember? The idea behind this is that every failure in the system makes it stronger. Oh, and take a photo. Here's your photo. Yeah, he'll give it the business. Do the rest of it for me. Extracted actions. Benny's going to run live 5th of March, 10:30 to 11. Wingman ORCA handover notes. Recap live. Confirm these extracted actions. Yes. Yes. Always comes back and asks, is that what you want? Is that what you said? Is that what you meant? That stops all the arguments in the meeting. That's not what I said. I don't mean that. That's what you agreed to. Yes. Standardisation. One of the 9 rules of project flow. So it's got a little debrief there. It's completed. We could copy that right there. As I say, drop that into Teams so everyone can see it. Not sending 100 emails out. He's written a post, which is his handover notes. So one of the actions is actually completed already. That's ready to go off to Mox, and Mox will write the recap post. And the recap post pushes people back to this one to go, this is what we talked about this morning. These were the actions. This is what we did on the live. You want to see the replay of it? Head back and watch it. Anyway, that is it for today. Take it, use it, make it great. That's the reason I'll put that there. That project that I was talking about before, that was a control room. Some people call it the obey room. We call it the war room. Notice all the visuals that I had there. I had on the screen, I've got on the one behind me, I had a trello board running. All those little sheets of paper that are posted up on the walls, they're different processes built from the last planner system by Jason Schroeder. Football's there for a reason, the books are there for a reason. Create a learning environment. We did that particularly well on that job. On the door there was a little exercise. Can you make this paper cut? Show people when they explain something to someone, unless they've got some visual cues to show them exactly what they want, how quickly it is to misinterpret what we're saying. There's also a quote on the door there from Jason Schroeder. No schedule, don't quote, this isn't word for word, but this is what he's saying. No schedule is worth the paper that it's printed on unless it gets to the field, paddock as I call it, he calls it the field, in a visual representation of collaborative planning between the whole team. Want to get everyone on the same page? We need a page to get them on. Attack plan is that page. That is the visual representation that we get to the field, people doing the job, the Gemba, so that they know exactly what they should be working on and when. They would have seen it and gone, hey, you've got, say, hydro testing. Was that there? You've got one shift blocked out for hydro testing. That takes us a week at the minute because you still haven't addressed that key problem, and that is we don't have the right people on that job. Take it, use it, make it a great week. What I'm going to do is play a little outro. This is from a podcast that I did with a guy called Matty Michael back in 2019. It was just as COVID kicked off, actually. Used to be called Life of Mine podcast. You might see him online now. He's actually running trying to run a hedge fund. You might have seen him yelling and cursing at it, hoping it would go up in value. I've not been speaking to, teaching this stuff for a short amount of time. This is back in 2019 when I was speaking to him about this, and I was doing this way before that. This is not something that I think works. It hasn't quite stuck yet. I only just learnt this yesterday. These four, what did he call these four? He calls it, you know how you say VUCA, V-U-C-A? These are the 4 levels of resistance. So we used to talk to VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, I can't remember what the C is, C and A. He put an extra C in there, which is constraints. This 4 levels of resistance to it. The solution is counterintuitive. It conflicts with the current measurements. Everyone trying to keep everyone busy. Removes our best excuses when we fail, and there's a fear of blame. If we change it up and it doesn't work, we have to take the blame for it. I'm good with that. Let me play this clip and we'll speak again tomorrow. Never, ever hire a consultant to implement lean on your project.
A dirty word in any construction mining is business improvement. If someone says there's a continuous improvement project coming up and someone walks in the door, they're like automatically without even knowing, they're like, look at these kids coming in to try and change everything.
Yep.
What you need is someone who's actually prepared to get their hands dirty.
If a consultant takes you in a conference room, show them the door and run. The work is where the work is done, in the office and on the shop floor, not in the conference room.
And integrate into your team. But where the are you going to find someone that'll actually do that?
On an almost regular basis, I'm asked if I know any lean leaders who would like a job managing or running a major organization. Unfortunately, the answer is always no. You see, I have met and come across hundreds of green belts and black belts, lean certified practitioners. However, few have the capacity to inspire people to greatness.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Building a lean culture is simple, but it's extremely tough. You're going to get all sorts of pushback and 1,000 excuses why it won't work.
After an extensive jaw-dropping tour through their facility, then a 2-hour lecture by the Hawks president, I approached him, just like I had with the Lexus VP. I asked him, what happens when other companies like Nissan, Ford, Chrysler, and other Japanese companies come to see his company and what they've accomplished? He looked at me and said, Paul, smart people can't believe it could be this simple.
So you're ready to stop wasting your time and your money on latte sipping consultants with no real industry experience, just want to sit in your boardroom and dream up theories as to how things could be done? Message me the word dirty and we'll speak soon.
Rightio, for this episode's guest, this bloke is both a legend and an enigma. From boiler to construction manager to then social media marketing guru to keynote speaker, all done with a true blue Aussie tinge. Adam Bean is nothing but a weapon, and this is an awesome yarn. We unpack what is behind this mysterious career path of Bean.